It has been just about a month, maybe a little bit less, since the Green Bay Packers traded for Micah Parsons, which subsequently means it's just been about a month since there has been no Kenny Clark on that Green Bay Packers defense. How sad it is to see him right there in a Cowboys jersey. Still not used to it, but hey, on to bigger and honestly better things for this Packers defense. And if you hated that trade, right, all I heard from the people who hate it, who hated it, which is hilarious to think that people hated that trade, given how it's going through the first 2 weeks, is how are we going to do anything on the interior, Joey? How are we going to be able to pressure from the interior without Kenny Clark? How are we going to be able to stop the run in the interior of this defensive line? This is so stupid, yada, 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 yada. I don't care, okay? And I didn't care then, and I definitely don't care now. Do you know why? Because Devonte Wyatt. This dude has been absolutely unbelievable, okay? And I'm going to tell you just why I believe that the way Devonte Wyatt has been playing through these 2 weeks and the way I believe he's going to continue to play truly changes everything for this Green Bay Packers team. Not only this upcoming game against the Browns, but for the rest of the 2025 season. Speaking of that 2025 season, we're going to be here for all of it, so make sure you guys subscribe. And if you subscribe today, it helps us in our race to 50 subscribers with the two biggest rivals that we got. Vikings now, Bears now, trying to beat them. So if you're a diehard Packers fan and you hate the Vikings and you hate the Bears and you love free daily videos, you got to hit that subscribe button. So Devonte Wyatt, like I said, he's been having an unbelievable year so far in 2025. And I think a lot of us, when Kenny Clark left, we talked about Devonte Wyatt being able to step up and replace him, or at least replace that productivity. But I don't think we expected it to be as big and him to be as impressive as he's been so far. 96 snaps through 2 games, 5 tackles, 2 sacks already, 11 pressures on the quarterback, and a quarterback pressure rate, that's supposed to be stops, not quarterback pressure rate. Stops, 3 total, which is basically when you make a tackle and that lessens the EPA of the opponent. He leads all interior defensive linemen with those 11 pressures. There's not a single defensive lineman across the National Football League that has more pressures than Devonte Wyatt. And if you look at just edge rushers as well, linebackers, any NFL player, he's 5th among them all when it comes to pressures defensively. Guys, that's really, really impressive. And like I said off the top, when Clark was traded, all the people who hated that trade kept reiterating, how is this team going to generate any interior pressure? That was the biggest shtick. This changes everything, right? Because of the addition of Micah, it allows guys like Devonte Wyatt to step up when in past years, there's just been more focus on them on that inside because there's been less talent on the outside. Having a guy that can pressure the quarterback like this from the interior opens up everything else for their defensive line. If all the people who hated the trade were right, and this didn't happen, guys, this defense would be a shell of what it is. But because Wyatt's been able to step up and keep the middle of this squad tight, well, that's been the difference. Grade him through 2 weeks. A, B, C, D, or F. If you're giving him anything less than like a B, I'm pretty alarmed by that. So, grade carefully down below. When you look at the pressures, right, there's only a handful of guys that have 10 or more so far through week 2. Trey Hendrickson leads them all with 14. Will Anderson's up there with 13. Josh Hines-Allen and Jonathan Greenard are at 12. And then you get to the 11s, which, of course, we see Devonte Wyatt tied with Dorance Armstrong, Nik Bonitto, and Haason Reddick. If Wyatt can keep this up through the rest of the season, this defense is going to be even scarier than they were originally thought to be throughout the offseason, right? Once Micah Parsons came in, once he was traded for, everybody's like, man, this defense might be something special. And what we've seen through 2 weeks, I think, has raised the expectation level even higher than it already was. And a good reason for that is because of Wyatt himself. And you know I've talked about this a lot. right? We haven't seen this statistic in a very long time, but I thought I'd bring it back for good old time's sake. Last year, 45 sacks and a sack percentage that ranked 12th best in the National Football League. That looks good. That looks good enough. But as we know, last year it wasn't good enough because they did not win consistently. They did not pressure consistently. 35% pass rush win rate in 2024. 210 QB pressures. 32.3% quarterback pressure rate. 20th in the NFL. And this year, the Green Bay Packers are one of 3 teams to have 5 players with 5 or more pressures. Edgerrin Cooper, Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, and Micah Parsons and Devonte Wyatt. If you add up all their pressures, you got 10, 19, 40 of them through the first 2 games of the season. If that continues on, just those 5 are going to pass the pace of what last year did. Okay? So coming up on today's show, I'm going to tell you about what all those numbers, all of that, what that means for Sunday's game against the Cleveland Browns. But for that, I got to tell you about our awesome sponsor. We got another day on the Packers Report, which means I get the privilege to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor, my favorite sponsor on this channel. That's our great friends over at Underdog. Football is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Let's cut to the chase. If you download the app today and sign up with promo code Packers Report, you score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You could play with as little as $1. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm on a little bit of a heater right now with our friends at Underdog, so I got to show you my Underdog lineup for Sunday's game against the Cleveland Browns. I got the higher on Jordan Love, 1.5 passing touchdowns, the higher on Tucker Kraft, half a receiving touchdown, and give me the lower on Joe Flacco, 1.5 passing touchdowns. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Packers Report to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Packers Report. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. And did you know that the Cleveland Browns have 3 offensive linemen who rank in the top 10 in the NFL in 2025 in pressures allowed? Of course, I'm talking about Cornelius Lucas, DeJuan Jones, Wyatt Teller, who just those 3 combined for Cleveland in 2 weeks have allowed 26 pressures. So yeah, with everything we talked about earlier, combined with everything we know about Cleveland through the first 2 weeks of the season, it just really feels like Jeff Hafley is going to absolutely feast with his game plan, and it's going to be feeding time for Micah, Rashawn, Van Ness, Wyatt, anybody wearing green and gold, frankly, okay? And that's what I'm excited to see, is Jeff Hafley continue to get in his bag. There's 3 things I'm really looking forward to in this Cleveland game. Number 1, I'm looking forward to continuing to see different looks on defense. I think Jeff Hafley has done such a wonderful job switching things up so far this year, okay? Switching players around, putting Micah in the interior, then on the edge. Same with Lucas Van Ness. Edgerrin going as an edge rusher every now and then. Like, guys are bouncing around, looks are changing, and ultimately it's hard to be productive as an offense if the defense keeps on changing their looks. I want to see these cornerbacks continue to stack performances, especially against a team like Cleveland. Look, I loved what they gave us against Detroit and against Washington, but I want to continue to see that. I need consistency from this group. It all starts with Keyshawn Nixon, and then it trickles down from there to the cornerbacks. Then last up, we actually talked about it earlier this week, I'm really looking forward to that Matthew Golden breakout. I just have a crazy feeling it is coming against the Green Bay Packers. Okay? Just a feeling I've got. Hopefully I'm right. I feel like I am. But it's going to be an awesome day for Matthew Golden. And I think if this team plays the way they have been, it's going to be an awesome day for the whole team. That's going to do it for today's show. Before we leave, though, got to ask you this. I'm setting the over-under at 3.5 sacks against the Browns. After everything I told you, where are you leaning? Over or under? You let me know in the comment section. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you got me on social media. At Joey Peterson8 on Twitter and Instagram. And if you're not subscribed yet to the channel, make that change and go Pack Go.